Hey guys, it's Josh over at J&H. We should be live now. Hopefully this is working. I assume that it is. And if you have some people who end up in the comments, cool. I really wanted to hop on tonight because I've actually been sick all week. I've had like the flu or a cold or something, and I actually wasn't in the office Monday through Thursday. I'm feeling a lot better now. I went into work on Friday, and I'm probably like 95% better, so that's good. Um, just want to talk with you about some topics. I haven't come on live in a while. I haven't talked to you in a while, so I figured this was a good time. And the only thing I really have here to do like a product review video on is like one of the new toriums that came out with a bigger size. So I'll probably do that tomorrow if I get some time. But I figured tonight I would just pop on, say hi, and go over a couple of things. So because I was sick, I was unable to attend the Bassmaster Classic, which is happening right now. I try to go every single year. This is the first year I've missed in about 4, I think. And it's disappointing, not only for me, but for my coworker Joe, who really wanted to go. We went last year together. So hopefully next year we can go. And, you know, the Bassmaster Classic is later this year because of COVID and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully next year it goes back to normal times and we can go in like, I think it's like March or something like that. Really, the things I want to talk to were a couple things. So we'll start off with the fun stuff, which is like the Shimano Stella giveaway that we're doing. If you are not aware of this, we're trying to hit some milestones, which is basically 40K subscribers on YouTube and then 60K on Instagram and 30K on TikTok. So we hit just the other day, we hit 60,000 on Instagram, which is really cool. Thank you to all of you who follow us on Instagram. We're getting close on YouTube. We're a couple thousand away, so hopefully within the next couple of weeks we'll hit that. And then same thing with TikTok. I'm just gonna have to do some sort of video that goes a little bit viral, and all of a sudden you just gain a tremendous amount of followers on there. So that should be pretty cool. We'll be able to give that away. That's a Stella 5000 FJ. If you don't know how to enter that, I did a video on it here on YouTube, or you can hop over to our Instagram page at J&H Tackle, find the post with the Stella in it, and just follow the instructions. You can enter into that. So that's pretty cool. I brought this home with me, which is the Dark Matter Astro Spook, but because of the green screen, it's showing up pretty bad. So instead, I'll just tell you something about a little bit about it. We've been developing this for over a year now, and I've actually worked with Tackle Advisors on it. He was the main guy who tested it for us and made some suggestions and really helped me to put this together. So thank you very much, Nick. Thank you, Tackle Advisors, for helping us with this lure. It turned out great. It's going to be really awesome. If you haven't already bought one, you should. It's a heavy spook, big spook, 7 inches, 3.7 ounces, rattles. It casts great. It's, top of the water, walk the dog style bait. But what's cool about it, and something that Tackle Advisors actually figured out and was pretty cool with, was that if you reel it really fast and get it subsurface, it'll like move like a darter, which is just different. You don't normally see that on a spook. So if you want sort of a diverse lure, it's definitely something you should give a try to. I know Fishaholic caught a nice big bluefish on there maybe a week ago or so on a prototype he was fishing, and Skinner has fished it. He's going to fish it this summer and this fall as well. So we'll get a lot of footage on it, and I think people are going to be really happy. We did it in 5 colors, so we did that. That was the bone, which I'm sorry, with the green screen didn't show up. We did like a yellow over white, just like with the Dark Matter pencil popper, all chrome. What's the other color? The bunker, and we did a version of Pickle Rick. We were in like a Rick and Morty sort of mood when we were deciding on colors, and I think it was Matt who was like, "Yeah, we got to make the pickle color," and we did, and I think it looks really cool. And it's sort of like an eel-y green, but it does look like a pickle, and we want to find stickers like Rick's face to put on it just for fun. I'll figure that out one of these days. Do a post on Instagram or whatever, but that's just like sort of fun stuff. So. We called it the Thickle Rick, just to be stupid. We like to do that. Flirk McGurks, right? We did that. That's stupid name, funny, but, they're super popular. So check it out, Dark Matter Astro Spook. You can go on jnh.com or just come to the shop. They're in with the surf lures on the wall. You can't miss them. They are really big. All right, so let's get into like the main thing that I want to talk about, which is delays, right? And we have been working really hard. We listen to your feedback when people say that stuff to us. It might not happen instantly, but we do take it to heart, and we do try to fix problems and issues. So we're going to sort of combine 2 things, which is like J&H's issues that they need to fix or we need to fix, combined with like pandemic level supply chain meltdown. Right, those 2 things came together at once. So we've gotten a lot of complaints of just your inventory is wrong and what it says on the website isn't accurate. And that's totally been the case. It's totally true. And we've worked ever since middle of last year to really make this better with the technology we're using at the time. So we're implementing more technology, more software, and just those implementations, you just don't do them overnight. They take time because, if we're implementing 6 or 7 different pieces of software, they all have to work together and you just sort of do them one at a time, and things come up and you've got to do other things. So there's all kinds of stuff happening on the back end that we're trying to just make better and all that kind of stuff. But really what it comes down to is we're doing a much better job of controlling the inventory and having the right inventory. But that doesn't mean we're perfect. And we did make a mistake, and that was with suppliers that are generally really, really good in terms of, like, if you order from them, they ship right away. They always have inventory. They're on top of things. That has changed with the pandemic, right? And it took a certain amount of time for us to figure that out with these specific manufacturers. Right? I'm not going to name them, but like, you're working with the company and all the time, great, never have a problem. Everything's super smooth. You need something, you get it in a day, 2 days, whatever. And then it's like, oh, sorry, we have nothing. And we're not going to have nothing. We don't know when we're going to have anything, right? So instead of changing the way that we operated in that moment, we didn't, right? We made the mistake of thinking like, they're gonna work this out. They didn't work it out. It's just the demand for fishing tackle stuff is off the charts. It's crazy. So what we did was we made changes recently to alleviate that in terms of just taking it off the website, saying, being, better safe than sorry. Even if we have 1 or 2, let's just put it 0 online. Not intentionally, but like, we're going through all these SKUs, all these models from all these different manufacturers. And we're just like, okay, it's better to be sold out than to sell something to someone and then not have it, right? And they get all pissed off. They got a trip happening. We've gone through that enough. And so we're trying to minimize that as best we can and really sort of deal from, the inventory that we have and that we can get and push that, right? So you might see that reflected in, like, if you follow us on Instagram and I do a post on something and you're like, hey, why did Josh do a post on SNS bucktails? Well, I did a post on that bucktail, not only because it's fluke season and you should get that bucktail, it's a great bucktail, but because I say to myself, well, we have a steady stream of that and I have no problem getting it. And, we've more than enough to meet the demand. We've prepared for that, right? So I'm not doing it on some, random St. Croix rod, like a salmon and steelhead rod or something like that, where, there's not a ton of demand from us, and then there's not a ton of inventory, right? So that's sort of the way to look at it from J&H side. So we are doing our best to try and fix things, make things better. All right, that's boring. That's out of the way. Let's move on to the more interesting part of it, which is that hopefully by now you've seen that the supply chain for most things is broken. If you play games and you want to try to get a PS5, good luck. It's gotten better, but it's not what it should be. Graphics cards, all that kind of stuff. Cars, you've seen it with where they don't have chips to make cars, they're making less cars. Okay. So with fishing, we're going to talk about specific manufacturers because it's a little bit easier and hopefully you'll understand the situation. And it comes down to a couple things you've heard of. So let's start with Shimano. And Shimano's actually been better than I thought they would be in terms of delivering us merchandise. They've actually delivered us more merchandise in 2021 up to this point, June, 12th, than they did last year from January 1st through June 12th by a good margin. So we've gotten a lot more stuff. We've ordered a lot more stuff, but we've gotten a lot more stuff, which is cool. So it's not like we're not getting anything from them. But they have a situation where they have a warehouse in North Carolina where, they have to ship everything from North Carolina to California to then ship because the people in North Carolina either want to hop from job to job to make more money, right? Or they don't want to work, right? Because stimulus and all this kind of stuff. So, and look, I'm not blaming anybody for anything that they do. It's just the situation, right? So the situation is they can't get enough people there to iron out the problems with their warehouse in North Carolina, and then they have to ship it to California, right? On top of that, because of all the shipping delays around the world in terms of like if you go on YouTube and you type in supply chain broken or whatever, you probably come across a video that explains like all the issues in the United States and around the world. And one of them is like literally the containers that ship out, that stuff ships in. There's a shortage of those because what happens is they come in, right, and we are importing way more than we're exporting, and well, that means that we need more containers coming in and less containers to ship back, right? So those containers are just like sitting and they're not being shipped back in sort of the normal commerce of things. So now you have this huge demand overseas to bring stuff in, and there's no containers or not enough containers. So that slows things down. You've heard of like, delays at ports in LA and Long Beach where things would sit there for, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever the delay is. But it's like if it takes you, if you normally get a delivery in 10 days and now it's 20 days, well, now that's twice as long. And if it's 30 days, now it's 3 times as long, right? So like you have all these delays piling on top of each other. And then if Shimano in California is expecting a delivery and they say, well, it's at the port, but they're not releasing it because the boat's still out there. Well, they don't really know. They can't say like, well, that product that's on that boat is going to arrive a certain date, right? So when we're talking about like, hey, where is my twin power that I pre-ordered? We don't know because they don't tell us, and they don't know because they don't have correct data, because how can they, because of all these shipping delays, right? Well, it's here, it's ready to ship, but we don't have a container. It's shipped, but the boat's sitting in the harbor waiting to offload, and that could be up to a month. Like all these sort of crazy things coming together that it's no company's fault. It's just the way things are. There's also we've heard of issues of trying to ship stuff from California to New York, from like Daiwa, and they're not being trucks, right? Like no truck coming to pick it up because no trucking company can come and do the work. Like there's just too many shipments for the number of trucks or trucking companies that there are in the U.S. We've heard problems of from like Abbott where they can't get aluminum because the manufacturer of the aluminum doesn't have enough employees. People aren't coming back to work. People are out sick with whatever, and these just cause delays. So we have just this massive, crazy delay, and a certain group of people are like, why is that? They're sort of not putting two and two together. And unfortunately, it's okay when it happens in fishing in the winter, but when you get into the season and you have trips and you want to go out and whatever, you're like, well, it's June, it's the middle of June. I should have my X reel or X rod by now. Like, what's the deal? It's been 6 months, and you're not wrong. But at the same time, it just is the way the world is now, unfortunately. So everybody's got to be patient with everything. And I know that's not fun. And I know a lot of people like to sort of hunt around for things, which again, I don't blame you. You know what I mean? If you want a specific thing and J&H doesn't have it, you're going to cancel your order and you're going to go to find another company because you've got a trip coming up in a week. And I totally understand that. If you ask to cancel, we always cancel things. Because we understand, like you want this to go fishing. You don't want this because you're just buying it from J&H to support J&H. Like you want a product, and hopefully you can get it from us, and things happen. So anyway, that's that. But I do encourage you to watch a video about that. Maybe if I find the video, what I'll do is I'll link it down below. This way you can see it. Last topic, and then I'll answer some questions if you guys have any questions, is just Dark Matter. Dark Matter is our brand. It's our house brand, and we are working really hard to come out with some great products and do more stuff like the Spook. More shads, more lures, more rods, and we're just trying to create interesting things, high quality things. I've teased a project that's coming up in the next couple of months. We should have in the next couple of months a rod project, which I'm super proud of and super excited for. I feel like it's something that no other company would do, no other independent retailer would do to begin with, let alone a big company. And I think you guys are going to be really psyched when you see what it is. And everybody I've shown it to has been really into it and really liked it. So we'll announce that pretty soon. Other than that, let's go through the comments here and see if anybody has any questions. And again, sorry to do this late night. I just wanted to pop in. I'd been out for 4 days, and when that happens, obviously I do less social media, less interactions, less videos. Can't do videos when I'm sick, and it's just less contact that I have with you guys. Fall behind on emails and answering questions, which I don't like to do. I like to answer all that stuff and get everything out of the way and help people, as quickly as I can. So I apologize about that, and I'm just glad to be feeling better. All right, so some people saying hi, love the channel, TikTok, thank you. I've talked with you guys about TikTok in the live videos, and certain people are just like, TikTok, no way, it's not for me. The development of TikTok and J&H has been really, really fast, way faster than I thought it was. I initially was going on there and I was like, okay, this is a new platform, at least a new platform for us, maybe not for a while, but, and I was just like, this is the next big thing. I have to develop on here. I have to build an audience and I'll be one of the only tackle shops on here, and I am, or we are. I now have more followers than Bass Pro Shop, which is just stupid, right? But what I realized about TikTok is that, yes, there's a lot of like young kids who don't know what they're doing, think that whatever they're doing is the best it'll ever be. And then there's a mix of people who are older, who you wouldn't expect to be on TikTok, or at least the typical, you don't think of them as a typical user, who get it and who are into it. And I basically, trash talk with the people that don't get it, which I don't do on other platforms, and help the people who ask for help. And a lot of people recently, a lot more people have been asking for help, product advice, know the shop, like what we're doing, and they're just like, getting their advice from us, as opposed to, Dick's or Academy or one of these big box stores where they're just, fed, crap, not that everything those stores sells is crap. It's not true, but, you're not going there and getting the same advice you're going to get at J&H or other mom and pop, what I would call high-end tackle shops, right? Like I call them pro level shops. You're not getting that at big box. That doesn't mean that the people who work at big box aren't good and are really smart, and some of them are really good. But again, it's a big box store for a reason. All right, let's keep going. Nice to see you. Audio is great. Good. I'm glad. People saying hi. Let's see. What's your opinion on the Penn Battle DX? I really like it. So far we've sold a ton of them, and they've been holding up really well. Whoops, sorry about that. Of course, my daughter got me a glass coaster. It says "World's Greatest Dad," and of course I put the drink on there because I'm still a little sick, and condensation and sticks to the bottom and then falls off. So sorry about that. Anyway, Penn Battle DX. I really dig it. We've been selling a lot of them. They've been really popular. People really like them. And I like the upgrades that they did to them. The handle, the extra bearing for balance. And it's really the best bang for your buck right now. I mean, I know people still love the Daiwa BG. And if you love the BG, then get the BG. It's a great reel. But the Penn Battle 3 DX is newer. And of course, I'm biased because it's a dealer exclusive. So very few companies around the country have it, which again, I like that. It's a competitive advantage, and I appreciate that from Penn. I appreciate them doing stuff for their dealer network, and that's cool. So I dig it. Let's see here. What's the difference from the regular Penn Battle? I just said that the handle knob and that extra bearing, and the color, of course. I'm having this guy's having a little trouble with the J&H app. If you're having issues with the J&H app, just delete it and reinstall it. And then if it's still happening, send me an email, josh@jnh.com, just explaining what's the issue. And if you can do a screen grab, that'd be cool. Because maybe you're not the only person who's having that, and we'll get it fixed as soon as we can. Would you take a Daiwa LT6000 to a party boat targeting snappers and wanted something cheap? And would be okay with it if it got stolen? I mean, it seems situational for you, so say yes. A lot of these things with reels, when you're asking real questions, especially about durability or corrosion resistance or that kind of thing. It's not a one-time thing, right? It's like an overtime thing, and then you've got to think to yourself what that time period is for you. Is that an hour? I mean, an hour. Is that a year? Is that 2 years? Is that 5 years? And base it off of that rather than, an in the moment thing. I get a lot of questions like, hey, if I use this, can I catch a 100-pound shark or whatever? You know what I mean? And, in those situations, I mean, generally the answer is yes. It's a yes to basically everything because you can do things one time with the rod or reel. It's can you repeat that over time and it not, blow up in your face, that kind of thing. Is the Saragossa 14K good? It's excellent. Love it. He's going popping, which is great. Check out the Dark Matter popping rod. Let's see. No difference here in Canada. Supply chain is broken. Not always possible to get what you need. Totally true. Supply chain is pretty out of whack. Yep. Let's see here. I am from India. Hi. Thanks for tuning in. You have cargo ships that are full with full containers sitting in San Francisco Bay. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. What's happening with the Stella Giveaway? I talked about that. For details, just go to Instagram and look for that post. I went to my local tackle shop looking for a Daiwa ballistic, and they didn't have any. I asked when they would get more, and they said Daiwa wasn't shipping products. They're not shipping some things. The ballistic is actually discontinued or going to be discontinued pretty soon. And that should be, so that's probably why you can't find that. If you want one, go to jnh.com. We do have some left, and you can check that out, depending on what size you want. Any thoughts on a conventional fluke reel, Avid versus Accurate versus Daiwa Saltiga? Not really. We sell so many quantum accurates because everybody wants a fish skinner style. For those who don't, Avid SXJ G2 5.3 is great. The little accurate BV300 I love. And a Saltiga, the 15 would be the way to go. It is a little bit heavier than those two, but it is a beautiful reel, so you can do that. Or you can go with low profile bait casting reels. Daiwa Alexa 300 is very popular. Tranks, even the Penn stuff, the Squall and the Fathom. So you got some options there. Let's see. Do you guys do an open house day or like a summer sale? So in previous years, we've sort of done different things. We've done events in the store with like Skinner. We've done a lot of like little sales, different kinds of sales. I think the next thing that we're going to try and do is actually a Thursday night pizza parties, maybe once a month, where we'll stay open, and from like 5 to 8, if you come in, we will have pizza and drinks and all that kind of stuff. And you spend, I don't know, $20 or something like that, and you get a ticket at the register, and then you can have pizza and drinks and whatever. We'll probably do something like that. The sale part of it is hard because we can't get any inventory, so what are you going to put on sale? Do we have excess of certain things? Absolutely. Clothing and that kind of stuff. And we could certainly do that, but that's always like, hit or miss. And are you really going to get people in the door for, t-shirts that are out of style or whatever, because things are just so busy, we don't have to do many sales. I think the next discount sale will be Black Friday, which I know is like light years away, but it just is what it is. But yeah, I think the pizza parties are going to happen. I think Daiwa is going to sponsor them. And I think that'll be really just a fun thing, stay open late. So for people who can't come during the week because we close at 7, we'll stay open another hour or two and, have some pizza and talk some fishing and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Are DX reels more limited in terms of manufacturing and model compared to non-DX? They're just limited to certain dealers. So like not everybody can carry them. So they are going to make less of them simply because they're not selling them to everybody. But it is a really cool thing for supporting an independent tackle shop like us, because, the problem really comes down to so I consider us to be a pro level tackle shop, right? Now you might not have heard that term. That might not mean anything to you. I don't know. But basically what it means is that if you look at the scope of things, we're like mid-tier and up, meaning like we're there to help entry-level people, right? All the way up to experts. But we want to outfit them with like quality gear, right? We're not going to have spin cast combos. We're not going to push tons of low end combos where the reel is the reel and the rod is terrible, right? We're just not going to do that. Now, do we have some of that stuff? Of course. There's certain people who want that stuff, and that's totally cool. But the direction that I moved the shop in is towards the mid-level and the higher level guys, right? And the reason for that really was that it's just it's a better crowd for what I want to do and what I want to achieve, right? I'm not a sometimes when you think of business, you think of like high volume. You want to sell 1 million of these and 1 billion of these and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes yes, but I'd rather sell a lot less at a higher price, at a higher quality, than I would like to sell like, 1 million $1 items. It's a lot harder to sell 1 million $1 items, or more consuming, and it costs more than it is to sell, the equivalent of $1 million worth of $200 items, right? Because it's just a lot less items, a lot less paperwork, and a lot less just things that can go wrong and problems you can have. So when we transitioned over from doing sort of lower end stuff to mid and high end stuff, it took a while, right? But it was an important changeover for us, and it means that we can help, people who are really interested in fishing. And I kind of lost my thought we were talking about, in terms of DX reels and all that kind of stuff. If someone could post, I'll remember, but I think I'm still a little fuzzy. But let's move on, and hopefully I can finish answering that question. Sorry about that. What's replacing the ballistic? I can't tell you. You'll find out soon enough. If you had to pick between a Saragossa and a BGMQ, which would you pick? I would pick the Saragossa. Doesn't mean the BG is bad. It's certainly not. Just had so much more experience with the Saragossa over the years. Popping rod under $150, 7-foot 2-piece probably doesn't exist, to be honest with you. It just doesn't. You got to spend a little bit more, and getting a 2-piece is going to be hard. Are we getting the new JDM ballistic over here? The one that comes in a saltwater and a freshwater option. Don't really know how to answer that question, because the JDM stuff is different than what they do in the US. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I'm sorry. Let's see. Pandemic must be over. John got a haircut. I assume you mean John Skinner. Yeah, we make jokes about that too. It's pretty funny. Is the Stratic CI4 Plus still in the making or discontinued? It's discontinued, and they replaced it with the Vanford. So you should go look at that. What reel would you recommend on a Penn Prevail 10-foot to catch bluefish and striped bass? Really depends how much you want to spend. Penn Spin Fisher 6500 is great. If you want to spend a little bit less money, you can go with a Tsunami Shield 6000. Those are sort of probably the two. There's the $100 one and the $200 reel. Does the Avid SXJ G2 need the bearing upgrade kit? No, it doesn't. G2s don't need the bearing upgrade. Don't worry about that. Do you get to go to ICAST? If so, are you excited for it to be in person this year? So I go to ICAST every year. I actually am. I was a little disappointed I couldn't go last year. It was like one of those trips that I normally go on, and now that I just missed the Bassmaster Classic, yeah, I'm looking forward to it just from a trip standpoint. It's I'm really looking for new and different stuff when I'm there. I'm not really looking for like I'll know all the stuff in advance from the major manufacturers, and I'll have either put my orders in or seen it, or at least got an idea of what it is, and sort of made my guesses as to what's going to sell and what's not. It's really like walking around that show and trying to find something new, something different, something that catches my eye, that sparks some sort of idea that we can do. So usually my plan is it's 3 days, right? So my plan is generally, and there are always like little things that are going to get messed up this year because of important meetings I have to have due to just issues with inventory. Like I got to go talk to the manufacturers and be like, yo, where's all this stuff? Like what's happening? What are you doing to solve my problems and all that kind of stuff? And Usually I do that on Thursday, but I do have a couple of high profile ones, so those I'll do on Wednesday. But generally, Wednesday is just walking the show, like just trying to walk every single aisle, seeing what I can see, getting an idea, not going to the bigger booths. I'll go to the bigger booths for like social media stuff, do like, 20 Instagram stories in the first day, just cool stuff and posting short videos of it. And then Thursday will be, or the second day will be meetings with manufacturers that I need to meet with. I try not to fill up the day too much because then it's just like, it's great to meet people and say hi and on all this kind of stuff, but this is like things I could do in my store. Like I could do it over Zoom. I don't need to do it in person. I stopped shaking hands. I have no desire to shake anybody's hand. I know it might sound weird, but I just got used to it in 2020 and, with kids and my wife's a doctor, so trying to just keep everybody healthy. I managed to stay through all of 2021. Literally, this was the first time I was sick in like 2 years, right? So, the not shaking hands thing is I don't know. I have no interest in shaking hands. I know it might sound weird. And then Friday is like, or the last day is a cleanup. It's like, what did we miss? Who do we still have to meet with? We learned this, so now I have to go see this booth, and I got to go check out this product and make sure this is on order. Yeah, so that's sort of ICAST for me. And then I go with Harry, I go with my dad. So we're gonna stay over till Saturday and sort of just take things slow. There's no reason to like rush home. He's gonna be 90 this month or next month. So yeah. Anyway, that was pretty cool. Let's see. Rod suggestion for a Tranks 400. Really depends what you're doing with it. You can do anything from an inshore rod to a nearshore rod with that. Dark Matter Inshore, Dark Matter IO casting rod is great for that. St. Croix Avid Inshore, Mojo Inshore. Yeah, there's tons of rods you can go with. Let's see. If I come to ICAST, do I get to take a selfie with you? Sure. You certainly can. It's not open to the public, but if you can find your way in and you can see me, I'll probably be wearing my Mega Man t-shirt, which I'm wearing tonight, or a Star Wars t-shirt or something. I'll be the only guy who's not fishing. It's funny. I went to Bassmaster Classic. This is in Houston, right? So this was like 4 years ago, something like that. And we were online. You can go and you can sit in, this was Tropicana Stadium, and sort of see the bass anglers drive up in their trucks and, weigh the fish in and all this kind of stuff, right? So we're waiting online to get into Tropicana Stadium, and again, it's just wall to wall, people super into fishing. Everybody's wearing like a Hook shirt or something like that, and I'm the only guy wearing a Star Wars shirt, which I wear all the time, and I get behind, and I'm just in line, happen to be behind this kid who's maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 or whatever, and he's wearing a Star Wars shirt. And I said to him, finally, someone else who's properly dressed for this convention. And the father laughed and all that kind of stuff. And anyway, it is what it is. I've had people come up to me and be like, "Oh, I knew it was you because you're wearing a Star Wars shirt or a Marvel shirt or whatever." But that's just what I like, so that's what I do. Let's see. Any other questions here? Any suggestion for a general purpose rod for a Ghost of 6000? It really depends on what you want to spend and what you're doing. Shimano Therese comes to mind, being super popular. If it's a surf rod, then, Mojo Inshore, Tsunami Airwave Elite, that kind of stuff. Anyway, I think that's it, guys. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry, I've been gone for a couple days again. Wasn't feeling well. I'm feeling a lot better now. And, yeah, I hope everybody's going fishing this weekend. I don't know what the weather's like. I know some of the guys from the shop are going to try to go tuna fishing tomorrow, which is really cool. Hopefully they hook into some stuff and have a fun time. Hopefully you guys are fishing tomorrow, spending the day out on the water. That'll be a good time. And that's it. If you need to reach me, you can leave a comment below or, email me, josh@jnh.com. Best way to reach me, though, is really on Instagram. Just DM me there at JNHTackle. I try to answer as quickly as I possibly can, except when I'm sick, but now I'm feeling better, so I'll answer pretty quickly. So that's it, guys, for me. Have a great night, and thanks for tuning in. And again, jnh.com. Thanks, guys.